Picture it, July. You're halfway down a trail into the Grand Canyon. The world's gone quiet and gold. Red rocks stacked in layers older than your mind can really hold. A stillness so complete you can hear your own heartbeat. It's one of the most beautiful places you will ever stand, and it feels completely, perfectly safe. That feeling is the first thing that can hurt you. Your water's almost gone. Up ahead there's a ledge of shade under an overhang, so you do what almost anyone would. You step off the trail, just for a minute, and lean back against the cool rock. You checked where you put your feet. You never checked where you put your hand. Here's the truth about this place. Every year, millions come to the Grand Canyon, and almost everyone goes home with sore legs and the best photos of their life. A few go home with something else. Not because the canyon is crawling with monsters, it isn't. Most animals here feel you coming and vanish long before you arrive. That's what makes it so deceptive. The danger doesn't roar and it doesn't charge. It waits for the 1 second you stop paying attention, in the one spot you were sure was safe. So, this is not a list of the biggest teeth. We're counting down the 9 most dangerous animals in the Grand Canyon, ranked by a single idea: how little each one looks like a threat, right up until the second it becomes one. The gentler it seems, the higher it climbs. And number 1 is not the animal you're picturing right now, because number 1 is small enough to be sitting in the toe of your boot right now. Small enough to ride home in the bottom of your bag without you feeling the weight. You won't see it. You won't know it was ever there until the part of the story you don't get back. By the end of this, you won't stop visiting wild places like this one. You'll just stop believing the dangerous thing is always the one you can see. Quick thing before we drop in. If you like the kind of story where the quiet thing turns out to be the dangerous one, hit subscribe and like. Honestly, it's the only reason we get to keep making these. That's it. Number 9. 9. The mountain lion. We're starting with the one animal here that looks exactly as dangerous as it actually is. That's the entire reason it's only number 9. Somewhere in this canyon right now, there's a mountain lion. Tawny, silent, 140 pounds built around a single purpose. If it's hunting deer today, there's a real chance it's already watched a few hikers walk past without one of them ever knowing. It sees you first, almost every time. It doesn't wear you down in a chase. It closes the gap in a few silent bounds and goes for the back of the neck, the same bite that drops a deer twice its weight. You'd never hear it coming. Now the part that should relax you. It almost never happens to people. Across the entire United States, there were just 74 documented cougar attacks between 1924 and 2018. 74 in nearly a century. But almost never is not never. In March of 2024, 2 brothers were shed hunting in the California foothills when a lion attacked them both. The younger one survived, badly hurt. His 21-year-old brother did not. California's first deadly lion attack in 20 years. Which tells you how rare this is, and also that rare and impossible are 2 different words. The lion is the honest one. It looks the part. And on this list, looking the part is almost a courtesy, because from here down, nothing else is going to warn you. Starting with an animal that's been on this list the whole time. You just couldn't pick it out of the rock. 8. The Grand Canyon rattlesnake. The lion would see you and leave. This one stays, perfectly still, betting you can't see it, and letting you make the mistake. The Grand Canyon rattlesnake lives nowhere else on Earth, only this canyon. And over thousands of years, it did something quietly astonishing. It changed color to match its own address. A soft, pinkish rust, the exact shade of the walls around it. A scientist named Lawrence Klauber first described it back in 1930. The canyon didn't just give this snake a home, it painted it invisible. So picture that narrow trail again. You reach out to steady yourself on a warm ledge. You checked your feet. You did not check the crack where a 2-foot pit viper is riding out the heat of the day. And here's what people get wrong about rattlesnakes. We expect the loud buzz, the warning. Sometimes you get it. Sometimes you get nothing at all. Because a snake that believes it's hidden has no reason to give itself away. And if your hand comes down inside its last few inches of patience, it strikes faster than you can blink. The venom is hemotoxic. It goes to work on blood and tissue. Swelling, deep bruising, the flesh around the bite starting to break down, pain like a car door slammed on your hand that only climbs from there. And out here, help is not close. Here's the part that gets me. This snake genuinely doesn't want to spend its venom on you. Give it 3 feet of space, and it pours itself back into the rocks. Nearly every bite on record happened because a person reached where they couldn't see, tried to move it, or leaned in for a photo. Number 8 doesn't hide because it's hunting you. It hides because hiding is the whole trick, and you're the one who walks into it. And speaking of walking into things you didn't plan for, there's something you should be carrying out here. Everything I just described, the swelling, the tissue damage, the clock you're suddenly racing, there are real things you can do in the first few minutes that help, and real things people do that make it worse. That's exactly why I put together the Dangerous Animals Survival Handbook. Dozens of dangerous animals, how to avoid the encounter in the first place, and the first aid steps that count when help is an hour away. Scan the QR code on your screen, or grab the link in the description. Now, back to the canyon. 7. The desert bighorn sheep. The next one won't hide at all. It'll stand on a rock, looking like the cover of a nature calendar, and let you walk right up. Please don't. The desert bighorn earns some respect first. A century ago, they were wiped out across most of the Southwest, but not here. The ones in this canyon are the only desert population in the country that was never erased and trucked back in. They never left. A ram runs up to 250 pounds, most of it neck and shoulders, capped with horns built like a crash helmet. In the fall, 2 of them back up and slam headfirst at a speed that cracks across the canyon like a rifle shot. For fun, well, for love, same thing. Now the part that puts it this high. A bighorn probably won't come after you. They want nothing to do with people. It's where it lives. Picture a startled 250-pound animal cutting direction on a trail 18 inches wide, 1,000 feet of open air off the edge. It doesn't have to gore you. It just has to bump you. Once. Out here, the animal is rarely what kills you. The drop is. That's why rangers beg people not to crowd them for a selfie. The sheep isn't the trap. The ledge is. And the sheep is just standing in front of it, looking gorgeous. Number 7 reminds you the most dangerous thing on the mountain might be the step behind you. The next animal? People walk right up to that one too. They just have no idea what they're standing next to. 6. The elk. Everybody relaxes around an elk. Big, gentle eyes, grazing in a meadow at golden hour. It looks like it should have woodland creatures braiding its fur. Basically, it's Bambi's dad. Bambi's dad weighs 700 pounds. A mature bull pushes past that, some over 1,000, carrying antlers several feet across that he grew and sharpened, specifically to fight. He hits 40 miles an hour and clears an 8-foot fence from a standstill. That's a small car that can outrun you and jump a school bus, and it lets you walk right up because you smiled at it. Here's what almost nobody knows. The elk near the Grand Canyon aren't even supposed to be here. Arizona's native elk were hunted to extinction around 1906. Then in 1913, a lodge in Winslow created 83 elk from Yellowstone and shipped them south by rail to turn loose. Every one of the 35,000 elk in Arizona today traces back to that train load, and the ones near the rim wandered up looking for water, same as you. So they feel like scenery. They're not. During the fall rut, a bull is a tank full of hormones looking for something to challenge, and every year somebody who wanted a closer photo learns that a lowered head and pinned back ears are not an invitation. One hit puts you on the ground. After that, it's antlers and hooves, and you're on elk time now. Number 6 is the gentlest looking heavyweight on the list. 1,000 pounds of wild animal we mistook for a petting zoo. The next one doesn't even have the decency to be big. 5. The coyote. We're halfway down. Lock in your guess for number 1, because everything above this line is worse than everything below it. And the thing I've been teasing since the very start, the one small enough for your boot, closer than you think. Hold that thought. Number 5 is where this stops being about size at all. The coyote. Your first reaction is the correct one, and the dangerous one at once. It's just a scruffy dog. 40 pounds soaking wet, filed away by your brain as basically a stray. That little drop in your guard is the most dangerous thing about it. A wild coyote wants nothing from you. The problem is the ones that learned. It's one of the smartest animals on the continent, and the fastest thing it ever learns is that people mean food. Somebody tosses it half a sandwich for a video, and with each easy meal, the fear that keeps it away wears down, until one day it walks up expecting food, and when the food doesn't come, it takes. In November of 2006, in Green Valley, Arizona, coyotes bit 8 people over 13 days. Officials had to remove 7 animals before it stopped. That same year, Arizona made it flat out illegal to feed wildlife in the counties around Phoenix and Tucson. And here's the number that sticks. When coyotes hurt people, it's a child under 12 about 2/3 of the time, small enough to look like prey to something that's forgotten to be afraid. There's a saying among wildlife folks, a fed coyote is a dead coyote, because once it crosses that line, it almost always ends with the animal being put down for doing exactly what we taught it. Number 5 is the one where the danger isn't really the animal at all. It's us, handing over the one thing that kept everyone safe. And the next animal turned looking harmless into an actual weapon. 4. The Gila monster. If you set out to design an animal that looked like it couldn't possibly hurt you, you might land on this. The Gila monster. 2 feet long, beaded skin in black and hot orange, like it got dipped in candy. Low and heavy and slow. It waddles. It spends most of its life underground doing nothing. It looks less like a predator than a novelty coin purse that learned to walk. It's also the only venomous lizard native to the United States, and its bite is one of the most purely painful things in this canyon. Here's what makes it different from a snake. A rattlesnake bites and lets go. A Gila monster bites and stays. It clamps down with a bulldog grip and chews, grinding venom up through grooves in its teeth, and it does not want to release. People have had to physically pry one off, and the pain doesn't spike and fade. It rolls on for hours, a deep, burning ache spreading out from the wound, swelling, nausea, a blood pressure that sinks through the floor. It rarely kills a healthy adult. It'll just make you wish, for an entire afternoon, that it would. Now the twist. Because dread turns to something close to awe here, scientists got curious about that venom, and deep inside it they found a molecule that helps the body manage blood sugar. In 2005, that discovery became an FDA-approved diabetes drug, the very first of its kind. It cracked open a whole new class of medicine, the GLP-1 drugs everyone's talking about now, the Ozempics of the world, trace part of their family tree straight back to the spit of a grumpy desert lizard the size of a burrito. Sit with that for a second. The same bite that feels like fire has quietly helped millions of people stay alive. Number 4 hides its danger and its gift in the exact same place, and dares you to tell them apart. At least you can see a Gila monster coming. The next one, people pick up on purpose. 3. The rock squirrel. I know how this looks. We're 3 animals from the top of a list about the deadliest things in the Grand Canyon, and I'm about to hand the bronze medal to a squirrel. Stay with me, because this might be the best proof of everything this video is trying to say. Of every animal in the park, This is the one that sends the most people home with an actual injury. Not the lion, not the rattlesnake, the chunky, photogenic ground squirrel begging near the overlook, already halfway into someone's trail mix. It learned that a raised phone means food is coming, and it'll climb your leg to collect. Its teeth never stop growing, so they're always razor sharp, and they'll open your finger to the bone before your brain finishes the word, "aw." But the bite isn't why it's number 3. This is rock squirrels, and the other rodents up here are one of nature's oldest storage lockers for plague. Yes, that plague, the Black Death. It never actually left. It lives quietly and flees on wild rodents across the Southwest, and northern Arizona is one of its strongholds. Every summer, park workers trap squirrels near the South Rim and comb their fur, testing for the year it flares up. Arizona has logged 64 human plague cases since 1950. 10 of those people died, and it reached right into this park. In the fall of 2007, a 37-year-old wildlife biologist named Eric York examined the body of a mountain lion that had died on the canyon's north side. The lion had plague, almost certainly from eating infected rodents. Within days, Eric was dead, of the form that attacks the lungs. Nearly 50 people who'd been near him went on emergency antibiotics. He'd done it all out of care for the wildlife here. The canyon took him anyway. That's the whole point of number 3. The danger wasn't the size of the animal. It was what rode in on the friendliest looking one, flowing up the food chain from a squirrel, to a lion, to a man. Cute is not the opposite of deadly out here. Cute is the disguise. 2 left, and now we get small, really small. 2, the tarantula hawk. From here down, you could hold the danger in the palm of your hand. Number 2 is a wasp. Not the kind you swat off a soda can. The tarantula hawk is 2 inches of deep blue-black body and bright rust-orange wings, and it is genuinely beautiful, the way a warning label is beautiful. What you don't do is give it a reason, because this insect is a literal scientific benchmark for pain. A man named Justin Schmidt spent his career getting himself stung on purpose to build a scale from 1 to 4. The tarantula hawk sits almost at the very top, a 4.0, beaten by exactly 1 insect on Earth. His advice for when it gets you was not apply a cold compress. It was, more or less, lie down and scream. A pain so total your body simply stops taking requests for a few minutes. And it's right here, common in the canyon, cruising low over the ground on a very specific errand. The female is hunting tarantulas. When she finds one, she stings it into total paralysis, drags its living, motionless body into a burrow, and seals it in with a single egg. The larva eats the spider slowly, saving the organs for last so the meal stays fresh. The tarantula is alive for most of it. Here's the mercy, and there is one. For all that, it has almost no interest in you. It won't chase you, and the pain, as monstrous as it is, fades in a few minutes with no lasting harm. You basically have to grab one, or step on it barefoot, which, given where number 1 likes to hide, is a lot less comforting than it sounds. Number 2 proves it for good. How much danger an animal carries has nothing to do with how much room it takes up, which leaves 1, the smallest of them all, and the only one on this list you might carry home. 1, the Arizona bark scorpion. Go back to the very start, the overhang, the shade. You, leaning on the cool rock with your eyes closed, certain you'd finally found the one safe spot on the trail. This is what was already there. The Arizona bark scorpion, the most venomous scorpion in all of North America, and one of the least visible animals on this entire list. 1 to 3 inches, pale tan, thin as a splinter. In the shadow of a rock, it's basically nothing. You could look right at it and see gravel. There's really only one reliable way to find one in the dark. shine an ultraviolet light on it, and its whole body lights up a glowing blue-green, like the desert handing you a jump scare. Click the light off. Gone again. Here's how it hurts you. The sting doesn't puff up into a neat little bump. It goes electric, a searing, radiating pain, and then the strange stuff on top. Numbness, muscle twitching you can't control, your tongue going thick, your eyes jerking on their own. In a healthy adult, it's an agonizing night you'll never forget. In a small child, an older adult, or someone whose body is already fighting something else, it can shut down breathing. That's the line between a bad story and an emergency. And this is not a scare with no teeth. Between 1926 and 1964, before good antivenom existed, the bark scorpion killed 75 people in this state, more than any other venomous animal here. Arizona still logs around 12,000 scorpion stings every single year. The last death was in 2013. We have antivenom now, and hospitals close by, and that's the only reason the number isn't higher. The danger didn't shrink. Our medicine grew. But here's what actually earns it number one. Every other animal on this list you had to go to. You reached into its rock, you crowded its ledge, you fed it. This is the one that comes to you. A bark scorpion doesn't want to fight. It wants a small, dark, cool place to wait out the day. And to a scorpion, a hiking boot left by the tent is a 5-star hotel. They're famous for it. You shake out your boot in the morning, or you don't, and you push your foot down into the dark, and the safest feeling moment of your whole trip becomes the one you remember forever. Here's the part that gets me. Back at the top, I told you number one could ride home in the bottom of your bag without you ever feeling the weight. That wasn't a figure of speech. Scorpions are notorious hitchhikers. They tuck into packed gear and shoes, go still, and turn up later somewhere they were never supposed to be. Number one is the whole argument of this video, folded down to the size of a paperclip. It doesn't roar, it doesn't charge, it doesn't warn you. It just waits in the one place you were sure was safe, and trusts that you will not look before you reach. So, number one wasn't the lion. It was the thing in your shoe. And that, in the end, is the truth about this place. The Grand Canyon is not dangerous because it's stalking you. It isn't. It's one of the most breathtaking places a person can ever stand, and you should go. Almost everyone who does goes home perfectly fine. Sore legs, full camera, not a scratch. The canyon just asks one thing. Stop deciding what's dangerous by how it looks. The lion that looks like a killer is the least of it. The squirrel that looks like a cartoon carries the Black Death. The lizard that saves lives feels like fire. And the deadliest thing in the whole canyon is small enough to nap in your boot. Right now, while you're watching this, somewhere down in that shade, a bark scorpion is sitting perfectly still under a warm rock, waiting for the sun to drop. It isn't hunting you. It doesn't even know you exist. It's just there, the way it's been for a very long time, in the one spot nobody thinks to check. So, out of all 9, the silent lion, the invisible snake, the fire in the lizard's bite, the thing in your boot, which one would you least want to meet in the dark? Tell me down in the comments. I read them. And if this rewired what dangerous even means to you, go watch the one on your screen next, because what's waiting in the water of the Everglades makes this canyon look downright polite. Careful where you reach.